In this video, we're going to look at how to best organize your screen when you're working on a smaller monitor. If you've got a very large screen, then CRS works best in the default mode. If you've got a slightly smaller screen, then you may want to change both the way the screen is configured and maybe how you navigate through records. I'm going to talk us through how to do that in the next minute or so, and hopefully show you how you can make the screen work best on your setup. The first thing we can do is to look at the header. We use quite a lot of space in the banner for the name of the product and for the logo. If you're working on a smaller screen, you can hide that just by clicking in the header. If you want to get back to the original header, then you just click back in the header again and it'll show it. So you can toggle that on and off. That gives quite a lot of vertical space. If we then go to the records page, you can see that the default configuration on a small screen is really very congested. The first thing we can do is to look at how we're handling the search window. The search window is actually quite wide for this screen, so what we can do is to make that smaller. That immediately gives us some space over here and starts to look less congested. Of course, if you're not using the search window, then you can just toggle it off by clicking search, and that'll give us even more space. To get back to it, you just toggle it back on. For now, we'll leave that toggled off so we can look at what's happening in the rest of the screen. The default layout is layout 3, and in layout 3 we show all 4 of the windows at the same time. On a big screen, that works really well. On a small screen, it starts to be quite congested. So let's hide the header bar to start with and give us some space there. We can rearrange the widths of these windows depending on what we're doing. So if we're interested in the record results, the search listing results, we can see them up here. Or if we're more interested in the record, we can make that bigger. Or if we're interested in the folders or the search history, we can make those bigger so that we can work on them and do what we need to do. If you're not interested in some of these windows, then it actually makes quite a lot of sense to use layout view different from layout 3. Layout 2, for example, removes the folders. So if you're working on a large search and you're not using folders, then this view might be quite a useful one. Bear in mind that each of these windows can be maximized if you know that you're going to be working on it for a while. So for example, if I'm going to be working on searching for a while, I can bring the search window back, I can maximize the search history, and then I can go and do the things that I need to do. So if I search, for example, for test, that will go away and run the search, bring it back into the search window, and I can then do what I need to do in the search window without the clutter of all the other windows. When I'm finished with that, I just click on the button again and it restores the view to how it was. Let's remove the search panel again. So we're still in layout 2. For a small screen, I think I'd be more inclined to be working with layout 1. So if we go to layout 1, we can see what that does. What that does is give us the search history and the search results. So we can see here that if we scroll down, we can get down to the bottom line of our search, which is the one that's live. Or we can go back to the one above, which gives us a bigger set of results. Again, we can still rearrange the different sizes of the windows. But even then, I think we can make it better for what we're trying to do. So for example, if we make the search results window full screen, we end up with a very usable record listing. You can still go through the records and select them. The difference here is instead of single clicking a record to see it, you need to double click it. So if you double click a record, that will take you full screen to the record itself. If you want to step through the list, you don't have to go back to the list each time. You can just click the next button. And that means that you can work in a really clean screen that's using all of the space for the things that you're interested in.